Hey folks, today I'm going to be talking about a bit of a sad topic, and that is dupe exploits in Last Epoch. Full disclosure before I even jump into this, I do not in any way condone this type of behavior. It not only hurts the integrity of the game, it's also against the TOS, so please do not use any of these exploits for any reason, and if you do find one, don't post it on Reddit, don't post it on YouTube. Report it directly to EHG, and hopefully they will have a resolution before it creates a huge fire and destroys the economy, as we've seen. So jumping into it, this is the statement that EHG just put out. We'll jump into it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what actually happened. Right here, terms of use. So if you don't already know, real money trading is against TOS. One can expect abusing such exploits or engaging in RMT, both buying and selling, will result in a permanent account ban. Some of you may be aware, but this has already started, and I believe EHG is setting a very powerful precedent here that you will be banned. So I think that is a positive step for EHG going forward to help discourage some of this activity. Since 1.0 has launched, we've been aware of two exploits. The first allowed duplication of items through the bazaar. They promptly fixed this, which is great. The second exploit, which is the more recent one, had to do with generating gold. This has likely been around for a while. However, it was kind of kept a bit secret for obvious reasons because there is an incentive for this sort of thing to not get out, obviously, and bad actors are going to do whatever they can to exploit such things like this. So this first became mainstream when a post surfaced on Reddit. I have the post here. It was immediately removed by EHG, and the only reason I'm even discussing it is because it's already been fixed. Otherwise, I would not be making this video. So with that said, this was the exploit. This comment sums it up pretty well. So it wasn't exactly duping. There was a interaction that you could do between two players where putting in negative numbers and then completing the trade would instantly get you potentially billions of gold. So this is pretty problematic. It's very, very fortunate that EHG has fixed this because this is huge, huge damage to the player economy. So if you're wondering, that's basically what was happening. So back to the statement, banning those accounts which have been participating in illegitimate gold generation. If you believe you are falsely affected by one of these bans, make sure to submit an appeal. One of the things that's a little bit gray area is a lot of legitimate players have sold items for billion plus gold that wouldn't have normally sold for that. So the market is a little bit muddy right now, even with the bans, even with the fix, even with all these other changes. So there will be some pains going forward while EHG works to rectify this. But yeah, so that's basically it. And here they talk a little bit about some measures that they can potentially put in to deal with inflation. So banning the accounts. A lot of them have a bunch of gold, so that should help with the inflation a bit. Keeping in mind all the items that they did buy, they can't be retraded anyway, even if they weren't banned. So those are already removed from the item pool, like available items. At the morning this exploit came out, pretty much every 3, 4 LP, Amazing Exalt, all these items were sniped from the market. And if any of you guys were looking at the market during this exploit, you probably noticed that everything was disappearing. So this is why. Continuing on, there was also some confusion that players were having around legitimately duplicate items. So Lightless Arbor and Runes of Creation being the main sources of that. So here they state the Lightless Arbor can actually produce 12 duplicates of the exact same item. So they talk a little bit here about helping with informing players and making that information more available. And as part of that, they will be introducing mirrored item graphics, which I think is a great change. That's really awesome. Love it. Yeah. So, and here they also talk about going forward, potentially in 1.0, talking about some inflation control measures. As you know, inflation is really rampant, and the existing gold sinks have not been as effective as initially hoped. So they're looking at introducing additional methods to handle some of the inflation problems. Yeah, so just in closing, it's not very controversial to say that abusing an exploit, ruining the game for all players is not acceptable. I fully agree with EHG here. And as I said before, if you find something like this, report it directly to them. More so just for the integrity of the game itself and making sure everybody is able to continue having a good time.